welcome to Interview Week. So this whole month we are going to be talking about taboo topics, things that we sometimes kind of feel a little bit maybe uncomfortable talking about in church. And so today I have with me, this is Mary Manners. Mary, say hi.
Hello.
So I'm really excited about this week. Guys, we're going to be talking about addiction. And Mary's going to share a little bit of her story and then give us some really good advice on what we can do to help minister to people that are suffering with addiction. So I hope you guys will enjoy this interview. So, Mary, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, for being willing to share your story. So the first thing I want to do, just so that everybody can kind of understand your story, what was it that caused you to become an addict?
I just wanted to feel better, and when I drank or drugged, it was fun. It was just fun, and it made me feel better. So I liked it, and I did a lot of it until it turned on me.
And how did it start? Like, did you? Well, you don't have to go into all the details, obviously, but did it start with alcohol? Did it start with?
It started out with weed and a little bit of alcohol, and in my 20s, I got into some cocaine. My husband wanted to sell it, and so I thought that was a good idea for him, but not me, and didn't know I was gonna like it though. And when I tried it, and I could do pretty much anything, but also that turned on me too.
Mm-hmm. So then, what was your life like after that? Like when it came to, so you started doing cocaine, and then how long did that last between then and then now? Without giving everybody all the information, you're sober now, right? So
yeah,
how
I'm
long
sober
was
now.
it?
So it was 20 years. 20 years. I didn't even think, and I always said, "What am I going to do when I don't do this?" And I didn't have an answer because it just didn't seem like it'd ever stop. But then Jesus.
So what was your life like then through the 20 years of addiction? Just give us like a real basic kind of overview. Like,
well, I worked at Ford's and I never had any money, and I was always running. It was so much work to get and to do and to make sure there was enough, and because I didn't like to run out, and because I didn't want to get in trouble. But at the very end, I did get in trouble, and that kind of came to a halt. And I had to go to AA for the courts, and that was all a good thing. But I couldn't stay sober still, even with all that, and because I was trying to do it myself, and I was always in charge. I was the woman of the 70s, and we were, independent, and we're supposed to be strong, and I still was trying to do it myself, and I thought I was doing it right. I did. Until I just finally gave up, and I went up to the front of the church and asked Brett to pray over to get rid of the drugs and the alcohol. And when I went up to the front of the church and asked for help, that was me letting go, and my life has changed since then. And I know the steps work. I went through them quite a few times now, helping others, and they really do help.
So here's a question for you. What are you doing right now that you've kind of come out of that like real dark season of your life? Jesus has turned your life around. He's gotten you on this good path of sobriety. What are you doing now to help other people?
I go to meetings. I try to go to 3 a week, but I have a group that they ask me to lead. Who, me? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I will do it. And so it's Living in the Light. It's on Thursday night at 6:30, and I meet with my sponsees once a week, and they work the steps.
So you're involved still in AA and in Living in the Light.
Yes.
Okay. So give me like a little bit of the differences between the two.
Well, it's all the
classes,
same.
Would that be the right thing to call it? Okay.
Yeah, 2 organizations.
There we go. That's a better.
Yeah, they're AA is a wonderful. It brought me to God, and God brought me back to AA when I came to Living in the Light, because I was like trying to get away from. I was trying to not go to church, and then I ended up going to church, and that's what worked. I had to have church and AA together. So I have a sponsor, and she has a sponsor, and I have a sponsee, and it's like a little family. And I have friends today. I have friends, good, healthy friends.
Yeah.
And I always wondered why I couldn't stay sober at first, was because I wouldn't give up the old friends. I wanted to keep the friends that weren't, so bad, but they always brought me back to, you want to fit in.
Oh, sure. There's two things that I love. Number one, it's the, that you're involved in AA, but you have like Jesus too. So it's like the wisdom of getting in the program, doing the steps, the things that are going to help you, the practical things that are going to help you, right? So we could sometimes I think we accept Jesus, right? We accept Jesus into our life, but we don't want to do the wise steps. And the Bible talks about being wise, being wise and doing those things. So, there's no doubt that Jesus could just transform somebody's life and they don't need anything from that point on. But the majority of people probably need both, right? The practical steps where you're and in community with people that have suffered and have gotten out and can encourage and things like that.
Yeah, I would suggest people to go to both, to go to anything, NA, AA, just go somewhere, because if they don't want God, they can make their own God. And then, what's your definition of your God? My God, I want him to be comfortable to be around, easy to talk to. I want him to be kind and gentle, and that's exactly what Jesus is. So I was looking for what I had found, and I didn't even know it. I went to living in the light and trying to get away from AA, and then Jesus, in my mind, I felt that he was telling me, now go out to AA and tell people about your relationship with him. And I do that today, and it's wonderful, because none of it's a chore, because I'm doing it for God.
Right.
It's not a chore at all.
Well, it's God has taken you through this season of your life, and now he's using it so that you can help others.
Everything I did in my life brought me right to where I'm at today. So, and he'll use everything that we do wrong for his glory.
Yeah.
Everything. And I thought I could hide some stuff, and never tell some stuff. It's all come out, and it's not even as bad as I thought it was. And if people love you, they're gonna listen.
Okay, so a couple of questions I want to ask you, because this video could be watched by somebody who is currently a suffering addict, or it could be being watched by people that have never struggled with that. And so I have two questions. The first one is for somebody who's watching that might be currently suffering with addiction. What would you tell them? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would advise them to find someone that you can relate to, and that would be to seek out one of these programs. Come to Living in the Light, and I'll talk to you, and we'll get you on the right path. The steps, they really work. I'm sitting right here, and I don't miss it at all. I always thought God was trying to take something from me. He's just trying to give me a good life.
Okay, so that's for somebody that's currently suffering. So for somebody who has never suffered with addiction, what would, because especially as Christians, God has placed us here to minister to people. And so when it comes to somebody who is suffering with addiction, what would you say to somebody who isn't, so that they could more properly minister to somebody who is?
Well, that's kind of hard, because it depends on if they're ready or not. You can tell them about the programs, you can pray for them, but until they want it, it's not going to work, and they have to be done. So when you see them start getting in trouble, just know that your prayers are being answered, and just try not to get too involved. Let them get themselves out of the trouble, and send them my way.
There you go. Send them this video, right?
Yeah, send them this video.
Yeah, that would be a good thing, for sure. All right, you guys, that's it for this week. I love you guys. If you have anything that you would like to add or just offer some encouragement to Mary for sharing her story, then leave a comment below. I know that would be just a huge encouragement for her. So thanks for being with us today, you guys. Look for next week's video. It'll be another good one on one of these other taboo topics that we don't like to talk about in the church. So,
Yes.
yeah, so it'll be good. All right, guys, see you next week.